Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to anyone who doesn't celebrate Christmas. Before we begin, let's answer last week's trivia question, which was, what was the name of the mascot character from the 2017 VGA Awards? And it was Hydrobot.
Apparently him and Jeff had a breakup. But anyway, let's talk about Zenless Zone Zero. It's gooner bait.
Duh.
But you want to know what you shouldn't do when you goon bait a game? You shouldn't remove the gooning, which is exactly what Hoyoverse decided to do with patch 1.4, which made the change adjust the agent's display for certain angles. When viewed from specific angles, the agent will appear faded.
What that means is that anytime you try to look up someone's skirt, they fade out. But guess what happened next? Everyone bitched about it, obviously. And usually I'd berate people for being gooners, but this time Hoyoverse should have known better. You don't ungoon the gooner game. That's like taking fashion out of any Nikki game. That's Nikki with an I, not an E.
Well, Nikki with an E has no fashion. Anyway, welcome to Necro News, the show where we cover the hottest gaming news from the last week. This week we'll cover Catly, Intergalactic, and Team Fortress 2 finally getting an ending to their comic, plus a lot more.
So subscribe to the channel because game journalism is dead and only we can revive it.
We weren't going to give Catly any acknowledgement whatsoever, but it insists upon itself, so we're gonna have to. The developers of the game, Super Authentic, had their PR rep get in contact with IGN to state that AI was not used to produce the trailer nor the game. We'll get back to that in a minute.
The PR rep also said that the claim of Catly being a blockchain or NFT game was completely unfounded, and that there was zero blockchain technology involved with Catly or the company, continuing with, our company/project has never issued any blockchain currency and any NFTs. Our company does not and has never owned any blockchain currency and NFTs.
As viewers from last week pointed out, even if the devs were into NFT and crypto, they couldn't have an NFT game on Steam because it's against TOS and is strictly enforced. So they can't actually be lying about it not being an NFT game.
What they can be lying about by omission is how AI was used in the promotional content of the game, as many users have pointed out that the game's website has a lot of obviously AI-generated art.
Yeah, no, I look at a lot of AI art. I'm not going to go into detail, but I know these lines. I've seen these lines before. This is AI art. You can't tell me it's not. Sorry.
So make of that what you will. It's still probably going to be a garbage game regardless, so.
Before we begin this next story, we want to give a big shout out to community member 47. Not only did they find this story, which no one is talking about, but they also translated it for us. So really, thank you a lot, because this story doesn't seem like it's going to get a lot of attention otherwise.
The story is about a student project called Symphonia, a precision platformer game that Skull is now going to recommend to me via the script. It has an air of Ellie-core with the theme of opulent orchestral stylings for the levels, music, and characters. It just released this month and is on every platform that matters. Okay.
What we're talking about, though, is the odd history that this game has had with a particular scam that stole its art assets to give you and anyone interested in it a virus.
The scam was actually kind of clever in its simplicity and how close it mimics the actual game, calling itself Sonata. Just to clarify, the real game is called Symphonia, while the scam is called Sonata. With both names in mind, I think you'll see right away how it gained success.
It's a fairly old scam by internet standards, being 3 years old at this point, but it sprouted up when Symphonia was just a student project and was gaining some traction. What the scammers did was make a website, sonatagame.com, and ripped off the official website's art and press kit. All the scammers did was make a new logo and change some art to replace Symphonia with Sonata. If you didn't know any better, it might as well have been the website for the game.
There were really only two major differences between the two. The first being that on the scam site, the student team was said to be American, whereas the real student team behind the game was French.
The French.
The much more obvious second thing was that when you downloaded the game, you were redirected to a zip file. And if you're trusting and don't know why that matters, you've obviously never opened up a zip file to 40 gigabytes of dolphins before.
It was malware, obviously. Now you might be thinking, how the hell could anyone fall for this? Well, aside from its presentation, imagine you're running a fledgling gaming YouTube channel 3 years ago and you kinda heard about this musical orchestra type named game through the grapevine, but you weren't sure what the actual name was. Then you get that big break. The developers found your channel and sent you an email. It's got a link to their website. And when you go to download it, you go to the website URL and get the zip file.
And so people fell for the trap. and a lot of people lost their Steam accounts and other information to the scam. Thankfully, it appears the scam domain is dead, so you don't need to worry about the website anymore. But to reiterate, for those interested in the game, the real game's name is called Symphonia, and it's on Steam. Before we cover this next story, I wanted to give the details that have been revealed about the Elden Ring standalone DLC game, Nightreign. It's a 3-player co-op action roguelike that's set in the Elden Ring universe, but can be played alone. The map will be constantly changing and will see players survive 3 days and 3 nights.
As a player, during the day you'll gather loot, level up, and explore, and then at night you fight a boss, and at the end of the 3rd night you fight a powerful boss called a Night Lord. That Night Lord can be defeated to get a special upgrade for your character. Each unsuccessful run will get you relics that you can upgrade your character with permanently, kinda like how it is in Hades. Additionally, you can unlock hero skins by playing the game, not by microtransactions.
Audible gasp.
Nikki. Other Nikki.
Finally, the network test will be coming in February, so that'll be something to look forward to. As for why we've brought it up, well, the week before last, Kadokawa, from Software's parent company, was being sought after by a Korean company, Kakao Group. Kadokawa, not wanting to be acquired, expressed interest in being bought by Sony, just to not be a part of a Korean company.
And so this week, Sony became the largest shareholder in Kadokawa with a 10% stake. So they are somewhat safe, I guess. The lesser of two evils? Maybe? I don't know. Hopefully this will bode well for the company in the future, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
So what do you guys think of it? Do you guys trust Sony to handle From Software? Because I don't, because Bloodborne still isn't on PC.
And I don't trust Sony because they chose to let shit like Intergalactic get greenlit. For some reason. But in the interest of being impartial, we wanted to clear up some information regarding the games coming out and the recent leak. Because yes, while the game does look uninspired and has zero thought put into the world, because seriously, why would a Porsche spaceship have a fully automated CD player on it? The plot leak that was popular during last week was in fact fake.
I mean, I could have probably told you that. Anyway, the claim was that a disgruntled Naughty Dog employee who was apparently upset with Neil Druckmann sent this leaked plot summary to an exclusive gaming journalist Discord, which was supposed to include people like Jason Schreier and the employee's friend who was a part of the group for some reason, and that his friend decided to share it publicly.
The rumor was shared so much and gained so much traction that Neil Druckmann and the Lolly Man himself have both chimed in stating that the rumor is false, with Neil stating, "You think you know, but you have no idea. Naughty Dog's 5th franchise is our wildest adventure. We cannot wait to show you more."
TLDR, the Intergalactic plot summary is fake news and you should just wait to see what the actual plot is. In episode 103 of Necro News, we reported on how the final issue of the TF2 comic, which had been in development for over 7 years, was almost finished. That was back in July, and last week, issue 7 of the TF2 comic was finally released.
The comic team announced the new comic with a community post stating, "Did you know that the construction of the Leaning Tower of Pisa was 199 years late? Literally everyone alive when construction started was dead by the time it finished." So I guess Valve is at least better than that.
For fans of TF2, there is a lot of stuff to see, including Soldier getting married, Spy without his mask, and of course the end to a very long journey. If you've been waiting for this ending, let us know what you think about it. This week's Buried Alive Banger, a segment where we cover a game that our community doesn't think has had enough attention, is Symphonia. We already talked about it and it looks good, and I watched the trailer and I like it, so yeah, check it out.
If you guys want to suggest a Buried Alive banger for next week, let us know in the comments or in our Discord.
Just like last week, there aren't any games coming out, which is weird because it's Christmas, but okay. But Boat Games did release a demo for Slitherhead, so check it out if you want to see why Booster is so obsessed with this game.
Our schedule is a mystery this week, what with the Christmases and everything. So if we stream, we'll let you guys know in the Discord and on the YouTube community tab, and at least a couple of hours before we do it.
So join the Discord because hitting that bell doesn't always work, as community members have pointed out.
And that's it for this week's Necro News. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're not already,
What's wrong with you?
And as always, a very special thank you to all of our channel members. We're going to be doing more smaller members-only streams starting January, so become a member so you don't miss out.
if you made it this far into the video, then Merry Christmas! You don't have to put an emoji. That's your Christmas present.
So until next time, everyone, goodbye.
Goodbye.